I composed this piece really, it was first a personal response. As I think any artist, it starts kind of inside, in this case, me. And so it was a personal expression, something I needed to do. And maybe in one way, that's the root of all activism, is that sense of I needed to express that. It wouldn't go away. There was a way that this aspect of my voice needed to be heard. And so that's in one way its own kind of quiet and not so quiet form of activism, to say I'm fully here. I'm not going to keep this expression hidden. You know, so in that way, it's its own, I mean, any kind of art making in this way can be activism. I very much appreciate that people are aligning themselves with Matt's story, with Matt's life, with this piece of music. And when we perform, it really sparks all kinds of amazing conversations, where we begin talking about the piece and the music and Matt's story, and then it turns into a larger cultural conversation, a larger personal conversation. And this is how we need to heal. You know, it's in relationship. It's not by sort of professing something and putting a banner up saying, this is my belief, this is my opinion. The healing comes when we can be in relationship and kind of, I reveal myself to you, you reveal yourself to me, with open hearts and an open field. So this is powerful activism. I mean, to actually be, as I think Judy and Dennis Shepard, I call them warriors of love. You know, they're just fierce in terms of bringing this message of love into the world and erasing hatred. And, you know, that is the most powerful kind of activism, is to participate in sort of the expression of love, that kind of love that transcends all of this separate stuff, all of this me seeing you as separate and less than. And it has that power to transcend that. It's not inconsequential in the least. It's enormous, it's huge, it's where we need to go. And one of the interesting things for me, just within the musical, classical musical realm, is sort of this idea, and it's not a new idea, but in this piece, there's sort of a unique version of it. A lot of musical styles are represented here, and it's very deliberate. You know, it was meant to really create a large tent, because sometimes even I found in music we can be uncomfortable acknowledging someone else's music. This is particularly true in sort of the old purist classical realm, where we see a nose down at so many other kinds of music, and that's changing for sure. But still, it exists, and my music is better than your music, or my music holds something yours doesn't. And so there was a very intentional piece here where, you know, I wanted that, you know, choral classical counterpoint, sitting next to a Gregorian chant, sitting next to a folk song, sitting next to a country ballad, in some way that could feel natural. It could kind of show a naturalness to how these things might live side by side. And so this is part of my own activism within the sort of musical realm, because it's kind of stealth. You know, it looks like a little crossover project or something, and it's really not quite that at all. It's much more intended to sort of say, let's sit with each other, let's listen, let's ponder this story while we travel through some musical landscapes as well. So it's a fascinating journey with the whole thing.